All right, I am back for story time. My hair is pulled back because I'm gonna be taking off my makeup. First, I'm gonna be shaping my eyebrows. I bought these things to see if they work. I don't get my eyebrows waxed, although I want to go, but it's just so damn hard to let my lashes grow or my brows grow without them being so bushy and nasty looking. So I'm back for story time, guys. Okay, so this story, let me just take a little break and talk. So this story is about my baby. I'm a first-time mother, and my dad my husband's a first-time father, and everything was going good. Since baby was born, he never got sick. He never got he would get like a runny nose just a little bit and then it'd go away. I thought it was, progressed to a like to a cold or something, but it never did, thank God. But come closer to Christmas, he was starting to feel a little sick, and which was something that I knew he was going to get sick because we were all sick. My mother-in-law was sick, I was sick, my husband was sick. We all had the flu. Not the flu, we all had the cold, the gripa. And Christmas Day, we did everything on my grandma's Christmas Eve. And Christmas, we came home from my grandma's about 11:30 or 12, around that time. We didn't do much. We went to sleep after that, and then woke up the next morning. We were getting ready to go to my mom's house. So my baby was feeling kind of sick. He was warm. He had a temperature, and I think his temperature was like at 100. Or yeah, 100, 101. So I tried giving him medication, Tylenol, and he fought it off and fought it off and fought it off. So so he was just crying because we tried to give him Tylenol. So he kept crying and crying. So we're like, forget it, let's not give him any. And at that time, we had a Santa Claus on top of our house, and he calls it mono. He likes, he called it his mono. So he would always want to go out and see the mono. So when he stopped crying, because we weren't giving him we're trying to give him medication, he said he wanted to go see mono. So sorry, I'm opening these little razors. So me being a first-time mother, Christmas Day was really cold outside. So he already had his pajamas on. So on top of his pajamas, long sleeve pajamas and pants, pajama pants. I put on his robe. Because it was cold, and I put on his hat, and not thinking, or because I'm not experienced as mom, because I'm the first, it's my first child, my only child. So, I didn't know what to do. So he wanted to do that. So I took him out, but I put extra clothes on him. So because it was cold. So after that, we stood in the grass in the middle of our yard. And he was looking up at his mono. He was looking up at his mono, and I was carrying him. I never put him down. He didn't even try to get down. So in that moment, at that moment, he was done. He was just watching cars go by, and then So we have a bench right outside of our door, and I went to go sit on the bench, and he was on my lap, so he was facing like the street or the neighbor's yard. He wasn't facing me. And then we were there for a few minutes, and at that point I knew that I had taken him out because my husband was getting ready to take a shower. So my mother-in-law was in the kitchen. I think she was making her a coffee or something. And so I was out with the baby. So all of a sudden, what I feel is my baby shaking, like really, really shaking. His whole body's just shaking. I turned him around. I looked at his eyes. His eyes were rolled back, and you know, I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my goodness. I yelled to my husband. I'm like, John, the baby. I run inside and with the baby carrying, and I heard the water going on. So I knew my husband was either in the shower or about to get in the shower. And so my mother-in-law comes running to me from the kitchen. And and at that point, it all went so fast. Like, it seemed like forever because I had the baby and I just gave her the baby. I'm like, here, I need you to hold him because, you know, mind you, she's from Mexico. She came to visit. She was, let's see, October, November, a month and a half in. So it's just like, you know, she doesn't know what to do. Or actually 2 months in, she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to call 911. We never showed her. So it's like, I'm like, here, I got the baby. I told her in Spanish, you know, get the baby. I need to go call 911. So I ran to my room because my phone was on the charger. So I run to the room. I get my phone and I'm yelling, John, the baby, that baby. So he jumps out of the shower and he had barely lathered soap. I don't know what he had barely done, but he had barely gotten in the shower. And so he grabs the baby, I think, from my mother-in-law, and they lay him on the bed. So at this point, I'm already on the phone with the paramedics, and she says, start taking him off his clothes, roll him to his side, and it seemed like forever, you know, that he didn't shake for that long. He shook, and then he was just out of it. And then when the paramedics came, they did his vital signs, and while I was on the call with the paramedics before they got there, or before they got here, I was just, I wasn't crying. I was just so scared for my baby, and I didn't want to just lose it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get help for my baby. So I'm like, what do we do? She's all like, do this, roll him to the side, make sure his clothes are off. And then he starts crying. So I'm like, oh, thank God. So he's crying, and then I'm like, where are the paramedics? The paramedics should be here. It was like 2 minutes since the beginning. And here I'm thinking it's been already 10 minutes. You know, it seemed like forever that they were taking. But she's all like, they're on their way. They're near. Just hang on. Just have the baby to the side. And yeah, like not even 30 seconds later, they get here and I open the door, they show them where they're at, where the baby's at. And, so they do all his vital signs and everything. His temperature was 103 when they took him. So, you know, they asked me a lot of questions, and then, his temperature went a little down. So they said, so do you want to transport him, or do you want to take him to hospital? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take him to hospital. And they said, well, we can transport him for you, or, with all his vital signs, he's okay. He's okay. This happened. This is normal. Not normal. This is, something that happens, more than what I think. So, and, you know, most kids that's how the body reacts when their temperature is high. So they're trying to fight it off. So, he says, don't worry. All his vital signs are good. Just take him in just to make sure. So we're comfortable with you driving him there if you want to drive him. If you want us to take him, we can take him. And so me and my husband just said, no, we can take him. And then just as long as you make sure you tell us that he's fine to, to go, in our vehicle without him being monitored by you guys. And they said, yeah, he's completely fine. At this point, my baby was already, he was crying because he didn't know who they were. And he, I don't know, it just broke my heart, because to see my baby like that, I felt like I could not help him. Like I didn't do, I just felt helpless at the point, at that point. But, yeah, it was super scary, super, super, super scary. So we took him in. They, his temperature was high. And we were waiting for a good while, because, the way the hospitals work are, they take the very, very urgent, broken leg or whatever. They take all the urgent ones first. They did take his temperature at first just to make sure it was okay. Well, good enough if it wasn't too high. So they took it. They had us sit down and wait until they called him. But during our ride to the hospital, I call my mom and I tell her what's going on, and I just started bawling. That's when I found myself like super, I was scared that it happened to him, but I knew that he was okay. But it was just so scary that I just started bawling, and my mom's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then she's all, I remember this happened to so-and-so, and everything's going to be okay. I'm on my way. And I'm like, Mom, I just went off, crying and crying and crying. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. And she's all, you did great. Don't worry about it. You're on your way to hospital. He's going to be okay. So now we forward back to waiting till he gets seen. Then they called us to the back, and they just kept him in there monitoring. They did give him medication for it to go down, but they just said it was kind of like a cold he was getting, and he had a cold and a high temperature, and that's all that, there's really no explanation to why, that happens. And they say it's not rare that this happens. So this happens often. And most kids just get the seizure once. Yeah, so I was just, I've heard of seizures, but I've never experienced one around me. You know what I mean? So it was super scary. And, being my baby, I love my baby, I'll do anything for him. And if I could have had that happen to me and not to him, but God was on our side, and baby is okay now. But yeah, he still had a temperature after we left. We were in the hospital for a few hours. Well, actually like 3, 4, 5, about 5 hours. And we went home, and then that night, was it that night? Christmas Day, Christmas night. Did we go Christmas night? Or maybe the next day. I'm not sure. I think it was the next day. I was just all, confused. After the hospital, we went to my mom's to go eat. And then, was it that night? Maybe that night. He had a little cough already. We took him. No, we didn't take him a shower. No, we didn't take him a shower because we were sick, so we weren't going to take him a shower. But he just started coughing like weird, this like box cough, like really, really weird. So, and I told my husband that he didn't have that cough. He didn't have that cough like before before we took him to the hospital. He had a little cough, but it wasn't this bad. And then I saw that he had trouble breathing, and this was like at 9 or 10 at night. I told my husband, no, I think we got to take him back to the hospital because something's going on. So we get there, and again we check him in, and he's coughing, and this barking cough. at the time I didn't know what it was, you know what I mean? So the guy that checked us in, he calls the back office right away, and no, he checks us in, and then he kind of vitals the baby a little bit, and then we go sit down, and not even like 5 minutes later, they call us to the back, and they had to do a breathing treatment. They gave him steroids, and man, my baby just had it. He had it. He was so scared of the doctors coming in, the nurses. He was scared of everything, because every time the doctor or the nurse would come in, they'd take his temperature. And the way they take baby's temperature is, rectal. So I know it was just horrible, horrible, horrible. The last time before they let us go home, I said, no, you guys aren't taking his temperature like that anymore, because he is terrified of you guys. And he looks okay now, and he wasn't like coughing or anything. The breathing treatment really worked on him. My baby just had a rough Christmas holiday. Yeah, Christmas. It was just rough. My poor baby, he suffered a lot, and he's scared of, the doctors, and he would try to go to sleep, and no. So they had us there. That second time we went, they had us there for a while, and they said if with the steroids it didn't go away, the coughing, that they were going to have to keep him overnight. So good thing it was going away. It helped. And it was just a crazy experience, a crazy experience that I hope that, all you guys do not have to go through it, because it is super scary, something that I do not wish upon anybody. Just watch your babies, if you see any difference in your babies, take them in just to get checked, because you just never know. You know what I mean? You're never wrong when you take a baby in to get seen. So, yeah, that was, it was so scary. So scary. I hope and pray that never ever happens again. So now what I found out with this whole experience is that if a baby's hot, has temperature, like, don't over clothe them. Take off and then put on damp cloths, not like super cold water, but a little cool water. Just try to cool them down as much as you can, so their body doesn't react the way my baby's body reacted to the high temperature, having a seizure. Wow. So yeah, it's just a crazy, it was a crazy couple days for Christmas, and that's what happened. My husband and I, we went through it like champs. It just we love our baby, and we do anything for our baby. So he is our pride and joy, and we have to do everything we can to make sure our baby is healthy. So yeah, guys, so hope you like this video, because I really don't do story times, but this is something that I thought can help other first time parents, because they say it's more common than you'd think, and I didn't know that was going to happen. So you live and learn. But if I can let others know what can happen, then they can possibly prevent something serious to go on. So like for me, I'm glad that I did not put my baby down outside, because then he probably could have fell, had a concussion, things could have just been worse. So I'm glad that it all worked out the way it did, because it wasn't as bad. I know I should have not put on like the jacket and all that, but I live and learn. My baby's okay, and that's all that matters. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching.